Okay, so breaking news. This have came down the news wire. Actually, this was posted a couple of days ago. It's kind of funny. I did a video discussing this 2 days ago. Well, 3 days ago. And I talked about the possibility of Stephen A. Smith, probably banking on free agency. But anyway, let's just get into today's major topic. There are reports surfacing that front office media is reporting this as well. Go check out their article, by the way. That Stephen A. Smith is ready to sign a major deal to stay at the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN. Now, there's no parameters of this deal, but everyone is estimating it's going to be he's going to be making between $20 to $25 million a year with the worldwide leader of sports. There's a lot of conflicting reports of the length of the deal. Some people are speculating 3 years. Other people are speculating 5 years. And this puts him past Pat McAfee. This also put him past Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. And he's also going to be the first $100 million broadcaster, sports media personality, particularly at ESPN. And what are my thoughts? All right. If this report is true, and the likelihood that this is, at the least, he signed back to ESPN. Now, we may not know the length of the contract and how much money he's going to be getting, but it seems like to me, Stephen A. Smith got what he wanted. He wanted to be the highest paid sports personality at the worldwide leader of sports. He's definitely going to get that. He also wanted I think Stephen A. Smith said upwards of 20 million. And the report is saying between 20 to 25 million. This is also a favorable deal for Stephen A. Smith if it's a 3-year deal or even if it's a 5-year deal. And this clearly shows that when you heard those other reports of insiders at ESPN talking about Stephen A. Smith's future at ESPN, they was basically saying, hey, look, we're just going to roll this along like we always roll this along at ESPN. And if Stephen A. Smith walks, he walks. We got a lot of talented sports personalities at Sports Center. And basically saying it's no big deal to them. But Stephen A. Smith is a major deal to ESPN. He is the face of ESPN. He's been with ESPN through its ups, through its many downs, through all the layoffs and things of that nature. So Stephen A. Smith, really contributes in a major way at ESPN. And it looks like ESPN is getting back to its stride again. All right. Now, I also talked about the possibility of Stephen A. Smith staying at ESPN. And they got a 3-headed monster with Pat McAfee. They just locked in Shannon Sharpe. And judging by this report, they're going to lock in Stephen A. Smith. That's a 3-head juggernaut. And I don't think any sports network or personality outside of ESPN is going to have anything that's equal to what ESPN has. Now, there are also reports out there that, Shannon Sharpe is due for his own show. People are speculating maybe it's around football season or his own show entirely, and he's still going to be a contributor at First Take, particularly on the Monday morning show. So they still got Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck has done some major things, some special things, making Monday Night Football great again. Okay, forget making America great again. Okay, making Monday Night Football great again. Okay, and even with their 2 deals, ESPN is reaping the benefits just of landing Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Pat McAfee is a resurgence for ESPN. A lot of people thought that wasn't going to, ESPN doesn't understand the landscape of of social media, of viral moments and things of that nature. By them landing Pat McAfee, they have a bridgeway to social media. And with Pat McAfee sort of puts the hip in ESPN. A lot of younger viewers gravitate to Pat McAfee, as well as Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is they call him Unc on social media. So ESPN is welcoming with open arms and understands the influence of social media by having Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharpe. And now they got their, old fixture of Stephen A. Smith. Now, when I done my video 3 or 4 days ago, I talked about, hey man, Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith, if he wanted to, he could just, go to Fox Sports 1. And Fox Sports 1 will give him buckets full of money to reunite, and it feels so good with Skip Bayless. That helps out Fox Sports 1 on the headlines. It also helps them out with their popularity and, rekindling the old magic of Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, old school first take, that's what I was talking about. And I thought that he was going to head that way. And I always said to myself, you would think Stephen A. Smith would, at least acknowledge that on social media and use that as leverage, but he never did. And also said to myself, why Stephen A. Smith hasn't, talked to some insiders at Fox Sports 1 of the possibility. And, when I started, processing this video, I started saying to myself, video that I uploaded a couple of days ago, it just dawned on me that, he's still under contract with ESPN. I'm pretty sure there's language in their contract where he can't talk to the competitors while he's under contract at ESPN. So he couldn't really use that leverage. And that's what ESPN was banking on. Still at the end of the day, nothing has changed. Okay? Particularly in the landscape of sports media. ESPN is still king. No matter if y'all want to acknowledge it or accept it or whatever, ESPN is top dog of sports media. There's nothing bigger than ESPN. The only thing that's bigger than ESPN is the NFL, the NBA, maybe Major League Baseball. But when it comes to networks and streaming and broadcasting and things of that nature, there's nothing more iconic, nothing that's a bigger brand or a bigger name than ESPN. ESPN is still king. Everybody, that's their goals, dreams, and aspirations of working at ESPN. Even local sports reporters at your local, areas dream for the day to land a job at ESPN. And that's where the best talent goes to. That's where the best influencers and sports personalities want to go to. All right. No one wakes up in the morning and go, I want to be at Fox Sports 1. Okay. Particularly in sports media, particularly in this business, everybody wants to go to ESPN. All right. That's first and foremost. ESPN is king. All right. So congratulations to Stephen A. Smith. I didn't think this deal was going to get done. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.